I should open my White Claw.
And we are
start.
live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey's Late Show. I'm your host, Kerry Arnold. With me, as always, producer and co-host of the show, Mr. Bradley Hatcher. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Kerry. How are you today?
Man, I'm not too bad. We've got a great show planned for you tonight. We've got the Lost Cryptids Conservatory guys. These are the Lost Cryptid guys that are going to be going with us down to Florida. These guys were chosen, handpicked by myself for specific reasons. And we're going to be talking a little bit about what we're going to be doing. David has not joined us yet. I'm assuming he's on his way.
He'll be here. He's being polite to Pete.
I got you. Well, we'll see David here in a few minutes, and we're going to be talking about kind of the way we're going to put this together for you guys and our thought process on the whole logistical nightmare that it's going to be doing it this way. So that's where we stand. We've got Josh Parsons. We've got Chad Datema. And who you cannot see right now, the one that says Lost Cryptids, is Blake Deutscher. How are you, Blake?
Oh, I'm doing good. There
he is.
Yeah, busy and stuff. So yeah, I'll try to be on here a little bit, but just excited about Florida. You know, I've been really thinking about it. I've been trying to work out and stuff like you're saying, and it's the real deal, you know. So we're really trying to gear up and be as professional as we can for it.
Absolutely. We've got an arduous task ahead of us. And David, just before you came in, I was talking about kind of what we're going to talk about is what you guys expect and talk a little bit about how we're going to put this together, how we're going to save this stuff, because David came up with a pretty good, I felt like I had a pretty good handle on how I wanted things saved. And David just came in and said, this is going to be better. Let's do it this way. And it absolutely is. So we'll talk a little bit about that, because you think about what we're going to be doing here. We've got multiple, I think as many as 16 devices going total that we're going to have to label. And the two filming cameras one of them is going to be running the entire time. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to take questions from you guys. Anytime. There's no time limit on this show. We'll be here until. So put your questions in caps if you have any for the Lost Cryptids guys or Brad or myself, and we'll be happy to answer them. Really not trying to beat everybody down about this, but this is a major undertaking. Chad, how do you feel about it?
I'm like super excited, but that I have anxiety too, because I know what we're doing. And I know what it's going to require to do, what is expected to be done to get the result we want to get. A sleepless nights right now. I mean, literally laying in bed at night and thinking and making sure and just coming up, thinking of anything. Kerry, I'm in euphoria. Let's just say that, okay?
That's good. That's great. Well, most of us are traveling a good distance. So, I mean, that is a concern that you're going to forget something, you know, leave something serious at home. I have made a list, and my lovely wife, who has informed me,
who's watching, by the way,
demanded that I think I got like 20 something boxes unopened at home. And she's like, if I see another box, I'm going to kill you. What she said essentially. So I've been informed that there will be a day when I do get home there in just a few days, that one of those days is going to be just for her. And you know, I can't. Absolutely, I had planned on doing that anyway. So give her some time, because she's not going to be able to make it.
You're a good husband, Kerry.
You hear that, Linda?
Well, I know I'm going to be meeting her shortly, so I need to start being pleasant.
I got so much stuff to bring. Brad's going to drive from Dallas to the house, help me carry stuff down there. Josh, we're going to get around to you in a minute, because there's something specific I want to talk to you about. But David, you and I talked about, or actually, you and I and Josh essentially are going to be the tech leaders here. We've talked a lot about how we're going to save this data, and you came up with a pretty good system. You want to kind of explain what we're going to be doing?
Well, I think what would first of all, I want to run this like I would run a federal warrant when I was doing computer forensics and digital forensics with the federal government. But what I'd like to do is run it with all the attention to detail and integrity in collecting the data that you would if you're doing a federal warrant. Now, what that means is that we collect the data and it is collected in such a way that could be forensically defensible, especially for any kind of evidence that we run into. I have imaging programs. I have MD5 hash programs that can show that our footage has been unaltered from when it came from the field, from when I received it, from when it was put on the hard drives, from when it was later examined. And I think that's very important.
Absolutely.
In terms of how we're going to do it, with the amount of data that we're transmitting, we need to have several computers running at the same time, doing both the original copies and then backup copies as well. And I think that is going to get us there and get us the data that we need and get what you need in terms of making the production of this documentary.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, I'd gotten pretty quick with the tools. So I think as long as each day is going to be put out, separated, each device, who's using it, and then I know that you and Josh, one of the three of us will be the main ones entering that stuff in for sure. You had something there, Brad?
I was just thinking how lucky we are to have somebody of David's caliber coming with us to do this. You know, especially the keeping the data integrity, you know, unaltered, perfect, where you can prove it by looking at how it's stored and whatnot. And I think that it's something that we really don't think about very much, but it's highly important. And you know, I think we're very blessed and lucky to have him coming with us.
Thanks, Bradley.
I think we're blessed to have all these guys.
Yeah, and
we got a great team.
And we got a great
team.
We have a fantastic team. Just from the researchers that we've chosen, and we were very selective about choosing specific researchers. There's a reason there's 4 Lost Cryptid guys coming, and it's because of the way you guys do it. You know, you don't make broad claims. You don't claim to know any more than you know. And just the way you present yourselves and the way you carry on, that matters to me. What matters to me about this film and the validity of what we get, because we don't know what we're going to get down there. We feel pretty good that we're going to get some evidence. But if we get something really good, something really epic, the way you guys and everybody else carries on after the film is, and I say this all the time, it's what's going to help lend validity to what we're doing. That's why it mattered to me who was going. It's the way you carry yourselves. It's your character. It's your integrity. It's your character. And it's every team member that way. Josh, I put Josh through the ringer, just like I did most everybody else. And before you talked to me, Josh, what were your visions of what we were doing?
Well, I had a good idea. I knew y'all would be going out, and you know, I knew this was a pretty big deal. And the thing that I like most about it is, you know, you watch a lot of these shows and documentaries where they'll go in and do this research, and as soon as they you know, they get screamed at or yelled at, you know, whatever, something thrown at them, they want to leave. Well, that's not what we're here for. We plan on actually going after and going in deeper and figuring out what's throwing what's screaming, you know, and that that's the idea I had, and that's the idea that I love about this.
So essentially, I didn't scare you at all. Is that what you're saying? So,
No.
as much as I tried to. Now, Josh, you've worked with reptiles a lot. We're going to be down in Florida during alligator mating season, and you have actually wrestled alligators before, so you know a little bit. You know a little bit about these things.
I do.
What should we be looking for here? I can tell you. Mark Zassy is going to kind of be pointing the way, and he knows where the big boys lay, and I know where he's talking about when he says in the back. So, what should we be looking for on this, with it being mating season?
Well, definitely during mating season, the aggression is a lot higher. The aggression is definitely there. So it's not. You're definitely going to have to be a lot more careful. Especially, you got nesting grounds. You want to stay away from those. Those will be, especially the big females. They're very protective of those areas because some females like to reuse certain spots, and that would. Be something definitely to look out for, and they're not hard to see because the nests are pretty distinct. Usually, it's a bowl shaped. So yeah, that's usually something you want to stay away from, especially the water. So much during mating season, the water is not what you really need to be careful about. People usually feel that when you're in the water is when you really need to look out for them, and that's not the case. What you want to be careful for is when you're on land with them. That's the part you want to watch out for. The water is not as dangerous as them being on land.
Well, I think one of the pluses we have is we're going to have thermal, and someone said this, and I can't remember who it was, but I saw it in chat last time that alligators don't show up on thermal, and for the most part, that's true. The smaller ones really don't, but those big boys have been laying in the sun all day, and they do retain some heat, so you can see the bigger alligators. There's a video on YouTube you guys can check out. You can see the big boys because they've been absorbing that heat all day. But the little ones, they don't show up at all. They're cold-blooded, and you'll see if you see the outline of them, fine, but you're not going to see a heat signature from the smaller ones. But the bigger ones is the good thing that we will be able to see. At least it's like a stripe down their back.
And another good thing about it is that we'll be doing a lot of stuff at night as well. And if you use a flashlight, you will see the eye shine. Yeah. Their eyes reflect very well. So that'll be a big indicator there as well.
Now, if we see some eye shine 8 or 9 feet off the ground,
that's a little different. Yeah.
Hey, Josh, how much, if we see one, how much room do we need to give them?
As much as you can. Basically, you want to try to stay out of sight.
Oh my!
Being this time of year, they will start hissing. They'll start slapping their tails as soon as they see somebody.
So they will give us a little bit of warning, theoretically.
They will, unless you surprise one, which you don't ever want to do. You want to be, they'll usually let you know, because they don't want you anywhere near them and where they're at.
Yeah, hey, you don't want to be the slowest guy in the field, right?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Josh, can't these things come up out of the water at you at like 25 miles per hour for a short distance? And that's how they attack their prey?
They can. Some. There's actually been some reports that can get a little faster. And some of these things are actually really strong. I've actually seen these things pull in a diesel truck up in
Stout.
Cattle Lake area, Texas.
Oh, wow.
We
know where that is.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh, as a reptilian master, and we know your expertise. What reptile is our biggest danger? I think it's the cottonmouth, which is also known as the water moccasin. What do you think that we have to be the most concerned about?
Water moccasins for sure, because they breed like crazy. Also exotics. And the thing I can't stress enough is if you are bitten, you need to kill it. Don't maim it or don't destroy it. You want to be able to tell what bit you, because if you do not know what bit you, you will not know what antivenom to use to counteract that. So if you do get bitten, kill it immediately and take it with you.
Chad, I love you. I know you've been doing your own show. This is my show. I'll ask a question. Okay.
I'm sorry. Wasn't it a good question? Wasn't it a good question though?
It was.
Yeah,
It actually
all right.
was. It actually
I'm
was.
back
It
on
was
mute.
good.
I'm back on mute. I'm sorry. I'm in timeout, everybody.
Well, we can't see Blake, with his.
Yeah, hopefully soon. Yep.
So what happened? What happened to your camera there, Blake? Where are you?
Oh, dad's life, busy boy.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's the cause. Yep, that's exactly it. But I'm very excited, and it is dangerous out there. We besides the Bigfoot, that's a whole nother level. But the natural wildlife and even plant life, you brush up against some plant, and all of a sudden you start breaking out in hives and rashes and stuff.
Wrong one.
It's going to be intense.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing. The interesting thing about this particular area and several other areas in the immediate area is not a lot of alligators been seen. I don't think any have been seen where we're going to go initially by Mark and Melanie Zansky, who's been through this place for the last 6 years. But they do know where they are. And have seen one snake, and it was on a video, and it was about that long, sitting on the side of a tree, and I think it bounced out at him or something. It was strange. I think it just saw him and took off, but he said it bounced out at him. Mark's a little dramatic sometimes. But that's the strange thing, is not a lot of snakes, not a lot of alligators have been seen in this area. And I just wonder what you guys think about that. David, what do you think? Do you think it's these creatures kind of keeping them away?
No, I really think that they're out there and they're around, and like the camp we're at. I think that our base camp is a definitely viable area for them to be in, as well as others. And I think they're a lot closer to humanity than people really realize. If that makes any sense to you.
I'm talking about the boogers pushing the alligators and snakes out.
I don't know. I really can't comment on that. I really don't know yet. I'm not down there. I don't know. I haven't seen yet. So
right. Well, that's why I'm saying there's not a lot of alligators been seen, a lot of snakes been seen in this area. You can go to areas and find them, but I'm just wondering if that's not the case, that maybe they don't kill them and eat them or whatever, but just kind of, this is our area. You stay back over here. And I don't know how intelligent an alligator is, if they've learned to just stay away, or if they do take them out. I mean, I imagine it would be pretty easy.
I know gators. Well, I definitely know who's in charge.
Okay.
You got a bigger gator and then a smaller gator. Of course, the smaller gator is going to do whatever it can to avoid the bigger one. If they know that these things are around, then they're going to stay away. And
I wonder if I know scent is important, especially during mating season for alligators. So they do have a pretty keen sense of smell. And if Sasquatch are around and they put out that smell, we're going to smell them. I smelled them every time I went in there. I smelled them. And just that one time that I really felt like I was being closed in on, and which was the last time I went in. Chad's been down there several times also. You've smelled them.
Am I out of timeout yet?
Yeah.
Listen, here's this is only theory, but it's common sense. And if you know the female alligator, they're very protective, even to the point to where they'll hold their babies in their mouth and hold them in there to protect them. Now, what happens is they make these dens. Now, what I believe, theory, is the Bigfoot take their eggs. Okay, the Bigfoot aren't eating the alligators per se as much as the alligators want to survive and want to breed. And if they're laying their eggs and they're getting raided, the alligator's going to leave that area and not be around there. And that's what's happening with snakes too. Snakes lay eggs. Happening with birds and all, anything. I mean, it's easy pickings.
Right.
My opinion.
I hope you're
Okay,
right.
I'm back on mute. I'll go back in time.
I hope you're right about that. That would be an extra benefit, not to really have to be as concerned as what I think we will be. So
And
I don't know.
And you having lived in Florida for some time as well, definitely.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Chad's. Oh, where are we at now? Blake. I can't see Blake, and it's bothering me a little bit.
You can just see his
It's like he's not here. It's like
patience.
He's sitting there shirtless in his underwear.
No, I've been
That's
driving
why-
around and doing a bunch of stuff actually. So, I know exactly. And keeping the reptile population down benefits them, or their children don't get bit by these poisonous snakes. They don't have to deal with alligators maiming their young ones and stuff. So it would be common sense, like Chad was saying, that they would do this for food, but also to protect themselves and their family.
Absolutely.
So it would hopefully be beneficial to us. So,
Well, I do know there are some things that have changed about the way we're going to be doing this. We were going to start at 6 a.m. on the first day and then end at 6 a.m. on the last day. But since time's going forward, it's going to be dark at 6 a.m. So I think we're going to go noon. We're going to noon to noon will essentially be one episode, 7 episodes in this series that we're going to shoot. And we're going to have it's called 168 hours. We've got some pretty cool logos and emojis for those of you that have become members. If you see these members over here commenting and their name is in green, it's $2.99 a month. You get we'll give you a nice big shout out, and you'll get to use the 10 special emojis that we have created for our members only. And also, we're making shirts with the 168 hours. We're going to have Bigfoot Odyssey shirts and swag to be given away. And you can't buy this stuff. You can only get it if you're a member. And as soon as those come in, we're going to start doing drawings every show for members to get the t-shirts. They'll get their choice if they want 168 hours t-shirts or Bigfoot Odyssey. But we appreciate everyone that joins. We're using that money. Linda and I'll be using that for the travel show after we get through with this, because we do have shows lined up this year. We'll be going. I know we're going to Tennessee for sure. We're going back to Florida for 2 more. Donnie Miller and Crypto Reality, Mark and Melody Zasky. We're going to be going to Vermont. So we have a lot planned after this. Also, probably be end of summer when we start, when this thing is done and I'm done editing and have it all out. We're going to hit the road. So we appreciate everyone that joins very much. And that's what you're supporting, is the travel show, what everyone watches us for anyway. There he is. All right.
yeah, finally.
Blake,
Yeah,
Blake is one of the main field guys in this. And I don't know I think you're one of the only guys that hasn't been charged with anything else. All the rest of us have like 2 or 3 jobs.
I can help with the downloads and stuff too. I know. I know what to do, and whatever needs to be done, basically.
No. Plus, he's responsible for driving at least 16 hours too.
Oh, y'all are not going to share that.
How long's your drive going to be?
We figured 24 hours, but that gives us a 2.5, 3 hours of, stretch your legs, let the dog out, get something to eat, cramped.
It's going to be about 18 altogether, but you get to stop. See, Brad gets to come to the house. He gets to come by and help me load stuff up, and then we'll take off together.
Load stuff up in my 6 coolers.
Oh, don't worry, Brad gets to help us unload stuff, so it still works out.
I
Yeah.
think it's going to take us several hours just to set up camp and
It
get
really
everything ready
is.
to go out.
It's going to be really,
Yeah.
literally, I believe. Several.
RG927 says this, and I agree wholeheartedly. Just like you treat every gun as if it were loaded, you should treat every area as if it has a normal amount of snakes and alligators. I agree. What I was stressed to everyone, especially the ones that are not researchers, that have committed themselves to doing this, is just because you think these creatures are not there does not mean they are not. I'm expecting them to be behind every bush, because one of these bushes they're going to be behind. So, and that's what I kind of stress to everyone is don't let your guard down. Keep that red light going and recording at all times. We're going to get into some equipment here in a little bit. Here's a question from Toby Gilliland. Kerry, who are you all coming to see in Tennessee, our neck of the woods? Mark Newbill.
He's going to see Bigfoot.
Yeah, I am not a Bigfoot researcher. I really tried that, and it's just not for me. These guys can do it, and I'll film them and tell the story. That's my contribution to the subject is to put the narrative out there in a positive way that people can look at and not go, "What in the world?" We're not doing that anymore.
You're
Thank you,
still
Donna
looking
Stokes.
for Bigfoot. You
Thank
know
Donna
that.
Stokes.
Don't
Welcome.
deny.
Welcome, Donna.
Well, I am looking for Bigfoot indirectly, I
Okay.
suppose. I'm
There
just
you
looking to
go.
tell the story of it. What's the best way we push awareness? Is it to go and try to get a bunch of pictures and images and to show everybody for ourselves? Or is it to put out the stories of actual encounters, of emotional encounters that people can look at and attach themselves to and be convinced by? That's to me, that's our best angle in getting more people involved in the subject and paying attention to what could possibly be right out there around them. Thank you, Barb. Welcome, Barb Santee.
Welcome, Barb.
I saw another question. If I miss your question, I apologize. These things go by pretty quick, especially when we got a decent amount of people in here.
Were we going to consider insurance? We talked about it, and as a group, if we all divided it, it wouldn't be that bad. I mean,
I'm insured. I've got insurance, so I don't know. I mean, what?
Yeah, my wife went and found the policy just to make sure.
Yeah, I got life insurance on me, but
Y'all might be getting a cut on that. I don't know.
Yeah, we got the Bigfoot
You're talking
policy
about travel
going on.
insurance, like travel insurance.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, I don't know. Christopher was talking about it, and I don't know. Is it smart? What do you guys think? I mean,
Well, this is the thing: is there's a ton of evidence, especially of us on camera, talking about how dangerous this is going to be. So I think that could be a real setback as far as getting paid out. You guys knew what you were getting into, and
all
we can
right.
prove
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Sure.
Well, at least my girlfriend's got the life insurance policy on.
Yeah, Linda probably. I think she took out another $1 million on me. So.
Mutual of Omaha from the airport.
I just have to worry about her killing me before I get to go down there. She's threatened it several times.
But to be taken out by a mythical creature, I mean, either they need to admit it exists,
Yeah.
or not. One.
Well,
or
they're
the
just
other.
going to call it a bear. They're just going to call it a bear or an alligator or
It'll be an
panther,
cougar, panther.
It'll
Yeah,
be an alligator.
It'll be an
or a
alligator.
python.
There are black bear, but
or a suicide.
They usually get pushed down south of Okeechobee. If there's one ever comes
No,
up there,
there's black bear there. There is black bear there.
Really?
There is. But they're small. They're not like a Michigan black bear. They are.
Yeah, they're a couple 100 pounds, 200 pounds.
Yeah,
of big
there's not a ton, but they're there.
And you see them, they're gonna have tags. They're gonna have tags all in their ears. And if you see one, you report it, and they try to trap it, and that's when they take them back to where they use.
And if you see one, it's probably one that goes to camps and gets fed, and it's probably friendly, and it's just gonna hang out the whole day, be like Yogi Bear.
Yogi.
Let's see. We've got a question here. Diane Kennedy asks, have you had any indication that the government may try to confiscate your videos, like the Zapruder film or the Kennedy assassination? all we can do, we can't really worry about stuff like that. I think we're prepared. We're going to be double backing up everything, right, David? And I'm bringing Faraday bags.
That's correct, and Faraday bags are important as well for the protection of the hard drives and the data on them. And what I can say is that in terms of the government showing up and taking our stuff, I don't anticipate it. I don't put it past them, though. I think the government is following what we're doing and what we have been doing and what we're going to be doing. And they're definitely out there for sure. In my experience as a retired federal agent, special agent, that this does happen, and they are definitely watching us and interested in what we're doing in terms of Bigfoot, because they don't want to admit that Bigfoot exists. They don't want to acknowledge, the encounters that have happened and things like that. So I think it's important. We are going to take our data and run pretty much, and it will be backed up in such a way that we'll have it even if they do show up. I'm not sure it's going to make a difference.
Me either. If they want it, they'll get it. But they're going to be on camera live.
There you
on
go.
YouTube when they do it. So you all will at least know that much and hear that story. I don't think they're going to worry with us that much, just because I believe they know we can't prove anything. Even if we get the ultimate footage, it doesn't prove anything. There's a lot of really good footage out there. I say a lot. It's been a while since we've had some really good footage of these creatures, and they're 100% legit. And what's it done? Nothing. But there's not a lot of narrative to go with it. That's why we're doing this way. You guys have never seen anything like this. You've never seen cameras filming for 24 hours straight for 1 week in one area. Nothing is going to be missed. There's not going to be a story of, well, man, I was trying to get my camera up and I tried to get my recorder. It was such a loud. You're not going to hear that. You're going to, from multiple angles, multiple devices, if anything screams, yells, throws anything. But for me, and following these groups out, when I'm the one out filming them, it's going to be capturing who's talking, who's saying what are they saying, and filming those individuals and making sure the camera is on them when they're doing that. Maybe ask a question or two to try to prompt a little something, but it's those things that come out in the moment that are just golden, especially when you hear something, smell something. That's what's going to convince people. And getting to know who these people are, you guys are, and everyone else, and getting emotionally involved in what's happening. It's going to be a long series. You're talking a full 18, at minimum of 18 hours long this thing is going to be. It may be longer than that. And the last episode, the first half of it will be the last day, condensed, just the best stuff that we get. And then all our best evidence will be and talked about. Everyone's outros, what they experienced, will be in that last episode. So it's a tall order, but I believe we can do this. I do know for sure if we'd have done this last year, I would have been way in over my head. Way. So actually getting to go out and get shut down and being out there and this is the thing. You can sit at home and run through all the pipe dreams you want to in your head, but until it becomes a reality, until you start thinking on real terms, that's when everything starts to click in of what you're actually going to have to do to get it done. That's why so many people are going to do this, because in order to film 24 hours, 5 or 6 people can't do it. 12 people, I don't think, could do it. Not this way, with multiple, especially filming cameras, not just the evidence collection that you guys are going to be doing, but just filming it being done. It takes more than 1 or 2 people. So that's why I got 6 assigned to be carrying cameras, because we're going to be swapping out. It's going to be like a relay race.
Well, and one lucky thing too, though, Kerry, is I don't know how much we've spoken. And you're constantly thinking of having new ideas on, we should try it this way, or I'm going to do it this way, or I'm going to do it this way. So your mind's been cranking ever since, basically COVID hit and it got shut down. So I think that's extremely beneficial, because look at the team that you put together. I mean, it's
good.
It's a bunch of good guys and girls. So it's that have talents and know what they're doing, and we're very fortunate.
I believe so too. Welcome, Noel Barbash.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Bigfoot Odyssey family. Let's see. I saw some other questions here. I got to go up. They kind of go by fast. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Daniel Lundy. I'm curious. Do you think the Foots will mock your language and laughter? Interesting. I don't know. I really don't know. I think we're going to learn a lot here. I think what I really am hoping for is that we get to show everyone else, all the doubters and naysayers, some good evidence, but also give them a good indication of how hard it is to collect the good stuff. Mm-hmm. How hard it is, how much you have to be out there around them, and what you get in that amount of time. I think people seeing that and getting a little better handle on the nature of the creature, that they're not just up walking through the woods. This is not how they behave. They embed themselves, and if they're going to watch you, it's going to be through, one eyeball is going to be out there. They're going to try to hide from us the best they can. The good thing about this area is there's been so many people coming out there, and then these creatures watching them going unnoticed. They kind of come out a little bit more there, and that's why I'm hoping we don't give ourselves away too soon.
Kerry,
yes.
I think they'll bust us pretty quick. I really do.
I think so too, but we're still going to try our best, not to give away exactly what we're up to. So
act oblivious, but it won't last long. They're going to know.
In terms of that question, it depends on if they like us or not. If they like us, they might laugh and do more friendly stuff. If they don't like us, they might be more aggressive to us. So it could have beneficial ways to be able to film either interaction.
And in terms of that question also, what I've found that they more mimic natural sounds. They'll mimic doves, woodpeckers, owls, and things like that is what I found. So it makes them capable of mimicking humans if they wanted to. But I find more nature.
Definitely children, Chad. We've had reports of them mimicking children as well. Mm-hmm. Maybe to draw people in.
And coyotes as well. I've heard a lot of coyote mimics out in Texas.
There you go. There you go, Josh.
And that's a good segue, actually, because with the amount of recording devices that are going to be out, including Chad's toy that he's bringing.
Yeah, we're getting into that.
That'll be one thing that I think is going to be extremely beneficial is just the verbalizations, hopefully, that we catch.
We'll see. This is what I have heard in this area myself. One yell sounded like somebody saying, "Hey," except it was off in the distance. It was in the bushes. It was loud, and it was really gruff. Hey, but it was really loud. And then Mark and I hearing the talking, like these things were communicating with each other, because it was two of them. It was a deep voice, and then it was a more higher pitched voice, just across the canal in the bushes, 30 feet away from us, and our eyes were this big around. So that's what I'm hoping to catch. Chad, tell us a little bit about this Parabolic that you've ordered.
The Parabolic. Well, Robert. Okay, let me tell a story. Robert, a customer, bought one and put it out, and he went to listen to the recording and heard an altercation of a man and a woman, and the woman screaming like she was being killed. He sent it to Robert. Robert told him to send it to the police, which he did. And the whole thing is it's so sensitive, it'll pick up stuff behind it. Okay, So there's no way to tell how far away this was. But in front of it, in direct, it can pick up to a mile of any type of loud noise. Not footsteps from a mile, but if something yells a mile away, it's picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there? Do you think there's a line there where you don't want to be picking up traffic a half a mile away? I mean, you can adjust that sensitivity of this thing, right?
There is a sensitivity on it. Yes, there is. So
okay,
everything can be adjusted.
So it's got its own. It's got a built-in amp, preamp, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. The whole thing runs on one AAA battery for 8 hours. The recorder's external and runs for a long, long time.
Well, I saw that it has a USB mini interface, so we will be able to plug that into an external battery bank and leave it out.
Yep.
So that is a good thing there, and that's the one we're going to have set out static. Among others, we'll have out. But as far as a dish goes, we do have a parabolic that the team's going to take with them to be out and just to pick up what's in the general area. It's 10 inches, but it's a Sound Shark and it's really good. It was donated. Thank you to everyone that's donated everything that we're bringing. So much stuff. I had to buy a lot of stuff, but a lot of people really stepped up this time and last time. We thank you all so much for helping us do this, and we're really, really going to do everything we can do to get this done. And if nothing else, we're going to put out a good film for you guys. I do want to say this right quick. If you haven't subscribed to Lost Cryptids Conservatory, go and subscribe right there now. They do a live show. They were just doing one, and I was on them about still going 5 minutes before our show.
Yeah.
I think that might have been why David was late. But yeah, so make sure you go and subscribe Lost Cryptids Conservatory. These guys are doing a lot of really good things. What we're doing in Florida, these guys do on a short-term basis in Michigan. So go check out what they're doing there, please. You guys have a lot of people on your team, right? Val, Zavala. I mean, my goodness, what a guy!
We have a lot of quality people. Is the main thing. It's not having a lot of people. You have to have people that fit in. You have to have people that are willing to do their part to make this all work. This doesn't work without the team. The Lost Cryptids is not where we are today without everybody doing their part. And
just like with what we're doing here, essentially the same thing. You guys have already been doing it. We're just going to do it for 24 hours straight for an entire week. That's all. Here's a question for me, right quick. Kerry, I was born and raised in the oil fields of SoCal. Are you still working in the fields? I am in the oil patch as we speak, Teddy. I'm here. I pick oil every day for you guys. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Gas prices are up. Not my fault.
Yeah, no, get it. Yeah,
don't yell at me. I didn't do it. But it does help.
You're not pumping enough oil, Kerry. Pump more.
I just test the stuff. Okay, I don't have anything to do with getting it out of the ground. Mr. Lee 3PO has a question here. Kerry, what will the outcome be for Sasquatch when I don't want to let everybody go around and answer this question because this is a pretty good one here. And Brad, I'll let you go first and I'll go last.
Oh my.
What's going to be the outcome for these things if we blow it?
If we blow
not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of think that more people will become interested. I think we'll get some definite airtime with what we have done. I think that we'll probably see more people try to do it.
What's it going to do to them, though? What's it going to do to the Sasquatch? What
to the Sasquatch. Yeah. You just got to think it like it does with anything when anything that's discovered. You know, it's going to hurt them. I think in a way, more people are going to know how to look for them. So they're going to have to become more cunning and, possibly pull back more. I mean, go really deep.
Wouldn't bother me a bit. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I think people are more likely to go out and try to hunt them, which is not a good thing. We need to save these things. We need to be sure that they're safe.
Good point.
In terms of them, in terms of them being, in terms of them being like, I'm sorry, being
It's okay.
hiding and everything, and I think they're going to go into hiding more. I think it's going to be harder for people to have encounters with them after we discover them.
If we out them,
If we out them,
that doesn't bother me either. Blake, what do you think?
I'm gonna go outside the box in this one. It probably will hurt them, of course, but it depends on what they are. If they're an ape, obviously it's gonna hurt them. But if they're more like a people with language and understanding, what's maybe the government can make treaties with them, or already has, the national parks. I think it depends on that. If they're a bloodthirsty cannibal giant, kill them all.
Fair enough.
That's what the government would do, anyways. I mean, but if they're people and they have understanding and stuff, that's different. It puts a more ethical aspect on it and morality. So it depends on what they are.
Absolutely.
well,
Chad
I
Tatum.
think,
Well, I'm going to follow up one of my best friends, Blake, by going a little more outside the box, if you don't mind.
Yes, he minds. You stay inside the box. Yes, sir.
Go in the doghouse.
Listen. These things are known. The powers to be, these things are known, and if you believe they exist and don't realize that they're already known, then you actually have issues. What would happen if we went out and we proved they're real? Okay, there would be a payday. There would be a payday for the $1 million footage, for sure. But it would still be debunked somehow, some way. It's not going to be let known. Why? Because there's too much to lose by big by the elites. Okay. That's my opinion.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting take. Absolutely. Josh, what do you think, man? If these things get outed, I don't think we're going to do it. Just saying.
Honestly,
we could.
It would break my heart that Bigfoot would no longer be qualified as a cryptid. It would be, it would be a registered animal. The mystery of it would be all gone, and I would never want that to go away. Even if I find the truth out for myself, you mean that's okay, but for everybody else, it's still going to be a mystery.
There's somebody scratching their microphone here. I think it's you, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the mystery of it would be gone. When you think cryptid, it would no longer be Bigfoot. And that in itself, I think it would be, heartbreaking.
I have to disagree with every one of you. I'm sorry.
Like
this is what I think, man.
Less.
What do you think, Kerry?
This is what I
Here we go, Kerry.
Tell us, Kerry.
Come on.
Tell us.
Chad, I will not.
If y'all will shut up, I'll tell you. Okay. This is what I actually think. I think there's going to be a mountain of litigation involved in validating this creature, from PETA to the logging industry to Parks and Recreation. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits involved in the beginning, I believe, once they ever say, yes, they do exist. Here's the proof. We have one on a slab, because that's what it's going to take. And we're not going to do that. Now, what we can do is put out something that's more convincing to the general public. That I think we can do. I think it's going to affect us humans more than it will them, because they're not going to change. They're going to be just as elusive as they were before, maybe even more so. I will agree with David on that part. And, we have yet to kill one that we know of, that anybody knows of, to bring one in to hurt them in any way, I believe, whatsoever. I don't think any more people knowing this, even if it's hunters that are out there, because there are people like me that hunted for 30 years that never saw hide, hair, or sign of these things, because they're just that slick. They've got so much over on us They watch us. I believe they know our notions, our tendencies so well that they just stay away. They see you coming a mile away, they just stay away. Now, curiosity gets to them, I do believe it sometimes. And sometimes hunters that go off trail, do something different, get to familiar with these creatures like I did. I didn't know I was getting familiar with them, but I believe wholly that that's what happened to me. If I'd have gone in there the first day and done the exact same thing in the exact same place and the exact same thing happened, I don't think anything would have happened. I believe it's because they knew me. They knew who I was, and it was a scolding time for me. Okay. I think that it's going to affect humans much more. I think a lot less people are going to go into the woods. I think a lot less family trips are going to be taken to national parks and national forests. I think that's going to be a huge effect. But as far as affecting the Sasquatch themselves, maybe a little. It will push them a little deeper, and that's fine with me. It's absolutely. All I care is that people know these things exist. That's all I care about. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they are. We talk about these things, absolutely. But it doesn't, if we knew what they were right now, it wouldn't change anything really. They're still going to be what they are and who they are as a species, as a being, a sentient, seemingly emotionally intelligent creature like a person that lives primitively in the woods and probably enjoys it, but has everything. That's how I feel about this. If they do get exposed, I don't think we're going to be the ones to prove anything. I don't think we're going to have anything like a body that's going to do that. Now, if we have good, really epic footage, it's still going to get called so many things. Well, you got a guy in a suit, it's CGI, and that's what David was talking about earlier in doing this data collection and being able to prove that it's not these things.
Correct.
But even still, public opinion is going to be what it is. There's so many people that don't want to believe this thing exists. There's a lot of people that look into this subject that hope it is real. This thing is romanticized so much by a lot of people that get interested in this, that really want this creature to be real, but want it to be something fluffy and nice and kind. And it's just to me, it's just not that way. It's all about survival. I think that's what the hiding is all about. I think that's why I don't think it's something that's taught. I think it's born in them they're just predisposed to not wanting to be seen. So that's how I feel about it. It's a good question, Lee. Appreciate you telling that. And I'm glad we all got an opportunity to answer that.
Hey, Kerry.
AirPod drop now?
Hey, Kerry.
Hey.
Yeah, everybody wants to respond right now.
Mm-hmm. Get it.
Yeah, I can say as a retired federal agent that only about 10% of what actually happens in the news we actually find out about.
Oh, I agree.
What I can say about Bigfoot is that the government knew about it. If they knew about it, they wouldn't say anything about it. It would be covered up totally. And in terms of everybody knowing about it, they would totally cover it up. It would be out of the public discourse as far as what people talk about and know about.
So, Kerry, what's your opinion? If we slabbed one, think about it. If we slabbed one, do you think it would ever even get the light of day to be public knowledge? I mean, maybe it would. I don't believe it would. I don't believe it would.
We would not even have that chance, buddy. We would not.
The only way it happens is right here. We go live on YouTube in the moment and show that we've got this thing. We're talking about, especially if it's a 800-pound guy. What are we going to do? Drag it out and while the rest of them take our heads off? No, that's the only thing we're going to have is that.
If we dragged it out, it'd be taken from us.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why this is all we've got.
Yeah, they're not going to let us keep that. It's gone.
Then all of us will have run into some sort of foreign disease and have to be quarantined.
Yeah, we're better off leaving it away.
There you go. Yeah.
And not telling anybody.
This is why it's important. This is why it's important that you guys watching this subscribe to every Bigfoot channel you can that goes in the field, so they can go live. They need 1,000 subscribers to go live from the field on your mobile. It's important that you guys. I subscribe to all of them, every single one. And I try to make their live shows when they do. But
But
you're
you
in the
don't
field,
watch them all.
I
You're
got
right.
time, man.
It's gonna be
There's so many to
it's-
watch, though.
There
right.
is.
It's gonna be live. It's gonna be live because if they show up, they're gonna drag them off, and that'll be that.
I feel
totally.
bad because I missed some of Kerry's shows. It's like I want to be there, but
Yeah, no way.
It hurts my feelings, the one that I'm on. So, Chad, you know.
oh,
I don't even get to be on all of my shows. That's how busy I am. usually. I've got guys filling in for me. But we're gonna have it. It's gonna be here. The late show is the one that Brad and I usually put off. Researchers Report is always going to be there because Daniela works her butt off on it, and I just usually show up and say, "Well, who we got?" 5 minutes before we start. So that's usually me. But that's how I feel about that whole thing. And if getting a body, that's a big.
we're not gonna get a body. There's no way.
No, I know.
Okay. But it was a hypothetical question. We had to answer it.
Sure.
Yeah. We had to. I mean, you never know. Maybe we do. I mean, but the odds are like one in.
You got to think if let's say that 0 whatever % happens, none of us who are there are going to be walking out of the swamp.
We're leaving it. We're leaving it.
Well, if we're
Absolutely
fortunate enough to have the chance to leave it. Yeah.
Well, actually, they're in a group. You're very safe. 1 and 2 can be dangerous. Man, you're with 3 or 4 people now. They're not gonna mess with you.
We'd probably just take some hair to try to take some blood samples, DNA, and get
Chop
the
off
heck
a
out
hand.
of there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be in the
if you do
front
that,
of the line.
you
I'll be
better run.
yelling. I'll be yelling, "Hurry up, Blake! Hurry up!" And you guys will be turning around. And,
All right, you're going to be in timeout again. 7 Pearls says Kerry, the government monitors YouTube. And do you think that we'll encounter agents? I really don't know. And that's why it's important if we do happen to get some kind of epic evidence in the field, a dead body laying there, and we do go live, you guys have to upload it. Download it, I mean, immediately. Download it as fast as possible, just so they don't cut us off. Not that I think that's, the government's bad at everything. It's just the way it is because it's so big. It's hard for them to be, good. Now, the compartmentalized parts, the really secret special stuff, they're probably good at stuff. But the government as a whole is not very good at anything.
Kerry, I have to agree with that. And in saying, that the government would definitely do it, I totally agree with it. Would they be good at what they do? I think so. However, I think that the government would definitely conceal anything that we find. They would cover up anything that we find, in my experience. And to the point that the American public wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, all we'll have is 18 people telling the same story. That's essentially
Right.
what we'll have. And then they might threaten us. Who knows? I don't know. I've heard these stories. I've never been contacted by an alphabet agency or anyone that I would find credible in that respect that has threatened me or told me any secret about anything. So I don't think it's as broad as most people think, but I do believe it exists. It has to. There has to. I think it's more disinformation than hiding anything. So, the beef jerky commercials and anytime you hear about it anywhere, it's a joke. It's all made a joke.
Daryl, yeah.
And I've written 3 full paragraphs of intro that's going to cover a lot of the state of the subject and the way it is now. So that's where we stand. Oh, look, this is lovely. Bradley, that pink shirt really brings the color of your sweet cheeks out. Love it.
I appreciate that. That's a beautiful comment.
Is
Brad
it more
usually-
fuchsia? Let's call it fuchsia.
Brad usually does wear a shirt that he has that's louder than his microphone usually. So
True.
this is true. And me, I'm always wearing something dark, and I hardly ever do that unless I'm on here. Who's that? Bat Mom, so I look like a peeping Tom, just a head.
Let's dig deep, Kerry.
Well,
Let's put us in a scenario. I mean, literally, because we realize we all have our duties. Sometimes we're going to be filming, sometimes we'll be downloading, but all of us at some point are going to be in the field.
Yep.
Let's put us literally in the situation that where there may be a Bigfoot right in front of us in a thicket, and some of us are going to have to go in after it. And this is the truth. This is no lie, and this is what we want. This is the only way we're going to really get any video is if we have to chase them. And you know, I know Blake will go. I know Josh will go. I know Dave would follow.
Everybody's going. What's the scenario? Come on now.
We're going. Buddy.
Well,
we're going.
So really, I mean, how if it happens, if it's go, what the whole?
I'm so glad I'm the one telling this story.
Who the whole team's going in and chasing after the damn thing?
You want me to do?
I mean, is the whole team going in and chasing after the damn thing, or I mean,
that's that's going to be up to your team leaders who's been thinking about this for a whole
you're
year.
the one you promised you were filming everything. You said you're following us into all of it. Okay.
There's also going to be a drone up above us too, where he's going to be telling, one's Brad, one's on your right, or Chad, one's
but that's not going to be up all the time. That's not going to be up all the time.
Yeah,
that's going to be up where we can send it up.
When I'm in.
I thought Kerry was going to send the drone up right before we go out to just scope the area, and then we go out.
In places that we can.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta get down there and see this place. You've been to places like this and understand how it is. You can't just set the drone down and take it up in the air from wherever you are. You just can't do it. So where we can, we will absolutely fly the drone and use every bit of it to our advantage. But what you're talking about is group being out. You got a cameraman probably in front, behind, getting the shots that I'm going to tell them to get. Make sure you get one from the bushes. Make sure you get their feet going by. Make sure you get, specific angles and these people talking. But you're talking about a situation where you get a growl. Okay. That's, I think, when whatever your team leaders have talked to you about will go into action. You're going to have a radio earpiece in your ear. They're going to hit the button because there's going to be a little button on it. And they're going to say, okay, you need to go here. You guys come around this way. I've got him on thermal right now. Okay. So-and-so, start moving in. That's kind of the way I envision this. And if it moves, I think it's either going to bluff, charge, throw things, scream, yell, or run away. And we're hoping for any one of those is going to benefit us because we're going to catch that stuff on camera. I mean, I hope we do have to run, to be honest with you. I do.
I hope we have to chase one, to be honest.
It's all situational.
It is. Really absolutely.
And we can plan all this, but we don't know until we get down there and things start happening. And
that's just the thing about Sasquatch and their behavior is they all behave differently. You got some that may be docile.
They're not nice in Florida.
Sure.
They're not. I agree. And or in South Mississippi. I'll even
go
there.
Or in East Texas.
East Texas is very notorious for having aggressive encounters. Southeast Oklahoma. I don't know if it's if it's regional, if it's a type. Who in the world knows?
I think it's individual. We got the same kind of reports. We got reports of people getting shredded and thrown up in a tree here in Michigan.
See,
so
it's on the individual.
But typical Michigan encounters are more docile encounters. Typical.
Let me throw this out here for you guys.
Mm-hmm. All right.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Chad Datema, if you start hearing these things talking to you in your head? What you going to do?
I'm going to tell you guys, and then I'm going to swear to God that I didn't take mushrooms or nothing.
And then
we're all going to go out there shrooms.
That's what I'm going to do. If they start talking in my head, I'm going to tell you guys. And then you know what? if one ever mind spoke to me and I communicated one like that, I would be doing a dishonesty to the whole subject if I didn't come out with it.
I agree,
But
100%.
I don't see that happening though, Kerry. So, but I want to turn that question around on you. I know it's your show. What are you going to do? What are you going to do if one says, "Hey, Kerry,
Quit"?
You're going to quit?
I tell you what, Chad, when we were out at Waterloo and we saw the ice shine and everything, and we both ran after it, definitely I think that's what you're going to do. I don't think you're going to sit there and wait for it to talk to you.
I'll be in shock for a second on the instant.
We're going to be after it, dude. But
there's always a shock, man, on the instant. If it's in front of you, there's a shock.
Right.
But then I'm going.
But when that happens, you need to make sure everybody that we're going with you.
I hope
we don't want to look up and see you 50 yards away, and then all of a sudden see you up in a tree.
I hope you can run fast, Bradley.
Yeah, I can run fast enough to pull a gun. That's about it.
He runs pretty fast. He runs pretty fast, Bradley.
He does?
Fast.
Oh,
yes,
my. So he's not the one I got to worry about then.
I don't think everybody knows.
Than the slowest. Yeah.
I don't think everyone watching here knows that Chad is 6'8". So I'm wondering if
he looks like Eric Dickerson running. You remember he always looked slow until you realize.
I'm skinny.
I'm
under 200 pounds. I'm very
but are they? Is one of these young teenage Sasquatch going to look at you and think,
It's a relative.
He's got cute lips.
Yeah.
Kerry,
it's a relative.
Kerry, I'll take one for the team. Okay, I'll take one for the team. If we all get rich, I'll take it.
You guys are trying to get rich. You got to do it.
I'll marry that young little Sasquatch thing and whatever. So,
no one for the record, no one here is trying to get rich.
No, we're not. But if a Sasquatch married me, I would be rich. There's no doubt about it. So.
I'd be in the circus.
Yeah,
we'd be selling this.
It'd be inevitable. Yeah, it would be inevitable. You know,
this film is going to be free. I'm going to put some ads in it. Just saying that. I wasn't, but I am. I got to put a couple. Just in case it gets a million. Just in case it gets a million views, we can recover something without looking like we're doing this for money.
I think anybody involved in the Bigfoot field is definitely not making money. So to say you're making money on this is just really ridiculous.
You might be making a little, but you're spending a whole lot more.
I'll just say my bank account is cut in half in the last week from what it was a week ago. That's all I gotta say.
You have a bank account?
I'm one of Amazon's favorite customers right now.
Yeah, believe it or not, us Yankees have bank accounts too.
You hear that? She's absolutely right. We need to get back to business.
We diverged.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right you are.
We did get off track there a little bit. All right.
How about those bears?
All right. Okay. I get it.
Diverging?
I muted again.
Are we still diverging? Okay. Okay.
Well,
so
what's
essentially,
your biggest concern so far?
Capturing everything the way I see it in my head, because that's the main thing is we really don't know how this is going to go. We can plan all we want to and be prepared as much as possible. But, you know, if it storms and rains for 3 days straight, that's going to put a serious hitch in things. Now, I got a raincoat and I got a rain deal for the camera. So we'll still going to be out there. It's just going to be raining on us. I don't know how that's going to affect, you know, audio evidence and us collecting anything. You know, at night, I've got the best ultraviolet lights I could get. And this is not a flashlight with a purple lens on it. These are UV LEDs. And with the yellow lights, you're going to be able to pick up urine, blood, anything like that. So we'll hopefully get that type of trace evidence. You won't be certain what it is unless, you know, maybe there's one close by. But I think that could be something that helps maybe give them away. Because if they have this on their fur or their hair, or on their hair and they shed some hair, it gets on something, it may be a little bit easier for us to find those things. So we're going to have, especially at night, we're going to have the ultraviolet lights out, collecting evidence, and maybe even be able to see one of these things on the ultraviolet. I don't know. It only makes sense to me that it's got to get all over them when they go to, when they relieve themselves. So it only makes sense to me.
Hopefully they'll go into the wind.
Is this one of those things? Is this one of those things you take in the motel room to check the bed to make sure if you want to sleep in the bed? Or
well, actually,
I'm
Val,
come on.
Dad's fixing to leave.
Actually, Val has a lot of data points of Sasquatch urinating and having a 5-foot streak on plants and stuff, or peeing on tents and stuff. But it's a lot. So if you did find a lot and it's 5 foot up at least, raining down a bunch of bushes, it's a good indication that it could be a Sasquatch.
Absolutely.
Good point, Blake.
So I think that'd be awesome light.
Well, it would have to be, I think, a specific amount, because there are coons and possums and things like that that go up trees and urinate.
It would be pretty noticeable. I mean, the amount of urine from the reports is existential. Actually, he has a report of a Sasquatch peeing on a person, and he's drenched. So it's pretty.
Heard that story.
It's a lot.
Really?
Yeah, the guys were camping in sleeping bags, right? They were on the little platform, and he was getting peed on. I heard that.
Holy cow!
There's a few of them that Val has. This one, the Sasquatch actually walked up to the guy, and the guy was standing. He was scared, and he peed on him and walked away. Val, it could be show of domination, the alpha male. He's literally peeing on you, saying you're nothing. So
I was with Mark Zasky, and Mark Zasky thought it was me peeing in the middle of the night, and something was peeing right against his tent, not on it, but right there.
Yeah, they pee on tents and stuff.
And Mark's yelling, "Chad, is that you?" And yeah. So here's a story about where we had the activity when all the stuff got stolen out of the cooler and all that. And that night, something peed at Mark's tent. And no, it was not me. I was 100 yards away from him. Well, not 100. I was at least 60 yards away from him, though. So no way he'd hear me.
Here's something here. This is another good question from Lee, and I think this is going to be kind of revealing, I think, for the way we're acting here at times. Is I think we're all a little stressed out about it and concerned. And I think that's why that's why we're kind of joking as much as possible we can here, and still try to maintain a professional air about us. But there's a lot of pressure on you to be successful capturing footage of Sasquatch. How are you coping with the stress? If there's a lot of pressure on me, it's all that I'm putting on myself. No one else is putting any pressure on me, or anyone else here. We're going to do our absolute best. These guys are going to put themselves to the hazard. They're going to make the sacrifice that we believe it's going to take to get this good evidence. They're not going to run away. They're going to stand in there firm, and I'm going to stand right there with them. Now, I will say this. If we don't happen to get whatever ultimate footage, all of you pros and Bigfoot experts that are going to tell us what we should have been doing, this is what you do. Get you a team, put them together, go out and show us how to do it. Because we're going to do what we believe it takes to get this done. And that's all. If it doesn't happen, I know we're going to learn a lot. I do believe that. And I've screamed for a year and a half that this is the only time I'm going to do this. But again, like I said, once you get down to the reality of it, it's happening, and it strikes you that this may be a good learning for the next one. So I will say, especially with all the stuff that we've got, there may be another one that we do. So we can't give up just because we don't do it the first time.
I knew you weren't retiring.
And I think too that Kerry has picked people with integrity, and we all want to do it for ourselves, but we all want to do it for the team. We want to do it for the team first, and we're all feel so blessed and humbled that we're included in this expedition, because there is I know Kerry's stressed, and I think we all are, and I think it shows. It's really cool that we can joke around. You know, when I haven't met anybody here, and I feel like, you know, I've known several of y'all for a long time, and I think we're fortunate that we can banter that way. It does, you know, alleviate a little bit of stress. But I know that for, you know, we also want to, you know, we all ride for the brand on this one. And you know, Kerry's thought about this and has brought us in to do this, especially now since it's, you know, subsection whatever, since, you know, what happened last year. But we want to make a difference. We want to make a difference.
That's the main thing. Making a difference. Be convincing. Get something more convincing than we have now. Some of the most ambiguous crap. Yeah.
You know,
you're gonna see. Go ahead.
You know, Kerry. I think we need to get something that is forensically defensible, and evidence that is indisputable, evidence that cannot be denied, evidence that will not be overlooked. And I think that's what we seek.
Absolutely. And all the metadata will be available. If I need to attach it to the film, I can do that. You can see. The effects that I use will only be to draw something out, and you'll be able to see exactly what I did to bring it out, and that there's no funny business going on.
We will be sure it's forensically defensible, whatever we do.
That's why we got this team. Everybody has a job. And
you know something I see, Kerry? I see I see them sometimes. I see we're about to throw 20 people together that most don't even know each other. And I can already tell we're all going to get along. And I see this becoming something greater than what we're even expecting right now. I think with the relationships that we're going to build with the group that you've put together, the relationships, the friendships, I think this is just going to help the whole Bigfoot community. This is just my opinion. And I'm going on mute. I know I'm grounded.
No. Well, I just don't think there's one, aside from maybe you guys, research group out there that has all of this. I know there's the four of you are on this team and going, but with the trackers that we have, the medics that we're bringing, and everyone having their own, you know, proclivities involved in this, for me, believing this is what it's going to take for us to do this as safely as possible, but still put ourselves in danger. You know, I hear it every day. You know, we've got Mike Stetton has got hundreds of people in a prayer group praying for us, not to get evidence, but for us to be safe. And he's leading that charge. He's the only one outside of the group that knows exactly when we're going. And I told him.
I want you to know Hal Lane has a big prayer group, and he's going to pray for us. And he's not praying for our success; he's praying for our safety.
That's what they're doing. Absolutely. And this is what we have. So much support from the community to do this. And to me, that makes me want to do it that much more. Just so many, the amount of people that have come together, the amount of emails and messages I get every day. And I read every single one and I reply to every single one that I get. So if you email me and you haven't been replied to yet, I will reply to you. I promise it's coming. I want to say this when we're talking about prayer groups. Jeff Townsend is going to be one of our security guys out there. His mom fell. I think she's in her 70s, maybe 80s. All right. I don't know who's dragging the microphone. Is that you again, Josh?
I ain't moving.
Okay.
It was Dave.
I don't hear it anymore.
Was it me, man? Don't
Everybody froze.
It's gone. I don't hear it anymore. Anyway, Jeff's mom, I think she's in her late 70s, maybe early 80s, fell and hit her head and it was bad. So they were at the emergency room. This was just earlier today. So thoughts and prayers for Jeff and his mom. Everyone come together for that. I don't know her name, but Jeff Townsend. I think that should be good enough for you guys to just, if you, a lot of you know him, reach out to him, because he's not good right now. So, wow, it got awfully quiet in here, didn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
somebody said he's got the
never good.
nasal
Yeah,
issue,
that's
and
because I
one of my
muted.
dogs is snoring, so I hope that's not me.
Well, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Again, the way we're going to do this film, I don't think anyone's ever done it. Especially, I know no one in the Bigfoot community's ever done it.
Nobody.
At least in the last 14 years that I've been looking into it.
This is a first.
This is going to be a first for everyone. So
it is a huge undertaking, and there's a lot of equipment that you have and that all of us are bringing, each individual is bringing. So there's a huge chance to be capturing footage. I mean, we'll always be filming, and we'll have thermal cameras. You got the thermal drone. I mean, I know I'm bringing a thermal camera. Josh has his. We got parabolic dish. We're taking a bunch of audio recorders.
It's like 9 thermal cameras coming.
Yeah, I got thermal,
I mean,
night vision, and yeah, I mean,
that right there is going to be impeccable. I mean, I don't know of any other research team or anyone that's had 9 thermal cameras, thermal drone. All these are recorders, and good stuff too, not cheap stuff, but actual expensive equipment.
Oh, I'm almost $50,000 into this from the beginning. Just what I have in filming equipment and evidence collecting equipment. So we got really good cameras for this to make the film. Got gimbals to stabilize everything, so it's not going through the woods and you're not getting drunk watching everything bounce up and down. So we've gone as far as we could to make this a good quality production. It will be at least a good film, and hopefully it'll be a good story that will get the evidence, and there'll be some really exciting stuff in there for you. We're going to do our absolute best. I guarantee you, there will be nothing mediocre about anything we do with this.
Exactly. I mean, that price tag right there shows how determined you are. And then we here at the Lost Cryptids been purchasing a lot of equipment for this, and we are very, very dedicated, and that's what it takes to be able to go out there for 24 hours all the time. It's not going to be easy, we're going to be irritated. It's going to be hard. It's going to be pushing a lot of people, and maybe to the limits. Who knows? Especially in certain situations when you're out there maybe getting scared, and you're on that precipice of the darkness, and you get that choice of whether you're going to walk in there and film or you can't. And I think every individual is going to be faced with that, and being in a group helps, but it's
everybody's going to react different.
You're right. You got to respect the fear, and that's truth be told. That's one thing that's concerning for myself personally. Is I think I know what I'll do, but who really knows if something? I've been rushed by a boar before. From all the different hunting and stuff I've done, but I think that's it crosses my mind.
It's got to. It's got to cross everybody's mind. I'm going to answer this right quick from June. If Jeff Townsend's mother is ill, will he still be able to go with you? Jeff knows how to sort his priorities. I believe if she's really bad off, that he won't go, but that's on him. We don't know what's going on right now, so we really, really hope and pray that his mother's okay first, and then that he will be able to go with us. Jeff does have a brother, and I think a sister too. So, but I don't see him leaving his mom if she's in really bad shape. So we'll just hope for the best. Absolutely, with that situation, Jeff absolutely knows how to sort his priorities. I guarantee you. Let's take one more, and we'll call it a night. What do you guys think about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Make it a good one.
Here we go. Jason Dobbins. Hey, Kerry and Bradley. This is Dixie. This is Jason's daughter because Jason's going to be going. I hope all y'all and my daddy catch one. I wish I could be with y'all. Yeah, Dixie. I told you that when Miss Linda and I come up there to film, that we will take you with us. Absolutely.
Kerry, that doesn't really count as a question, right? You got to take one more because that was a comment.
Fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you still in timeout, Chad?
He's acting
Probably.
like he's in timeout.
Probably.
Bo Stanfield, Kerry, how many teams or groups will there be? There'll just
Good
be
question.
2. There's just going to be 2. And but the way this is going to work, and the reason we got so many people, is what everyone's going to be doing is going to be very taxing. So you might have a team that goes out initially, and when they come in, the next team goes out, and then when this other team is preparing, you may have someone else step in, someone step out. I say may have. That's exactly what's going to happen. Is there people are going to interchange, but there'll only be one group out at a time. Now there will be filming at the camp, main camp all the time, and in the field all the time. So what you're going to see is this hour count, what's going on and when it's happening in the field. And then if something happens at camp, we'll get a cut back at that. And if I have to back up a minute or two, you'll see that on the hour count that at this time, this was happening while this was happening out here. That's kind of the way it'll go. If that situation arises, it's the same with the editing of it is the same with us going. We don't know exactly what we're getting into. I'm going to tell the story the best way I can. And I think we've got a good filming team to do this. Our audio is going to be absolutely impeccable. I think the video is going to be really, really good, stable. It's just going to be a matter of the narrative, the way it's presented, and the evidence and the way that's presented. And I feel really good about all those things. So that's where that is.
Well, Kerry, if to explain it a little more, is it would be impossible to have all of our cameras going 24/7. The cameras are going to need, so that's with the 2 teams, we have a lot of equipment, but the equipment can't run the constant time. So things are going to be charged. So I just thought I'd add that in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay, yeah, no, the only thing that's going to run constantly are the filming cameras.
And
parabolics. The parabolic.
Right. That's why I got so many batteries for each camera. I got 15 batteries for each camera, so they can be constantly being charged. Somebody's going to be running batteries. I'll take this one right quick from Randy. How do you feel about going back in the woods? It is what it is. There's kind of the way that this has been done for a reason. So I have to do it, or at least I feel like I have to do it myself. I already felt like we had the means, we had the opportunity, we knew the people that could potentially get this done. So it would have felt wrong not to do it, just because we did have all these things come together. But for me personally, going in, I'm really going to try to just stay on my board and not think about anything else but capturing what these guys are doing. I don't know how I'm going to feel, but I'm not backing out. I'm going in with everybody else. Simple as that. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea here, to think that I'm afraid of the woods. That's not it. That's not the problem that I have with going in. The analogy I use is the best way I know how to explain it is the whole board analogy. The 2x6 board, you put it on the ground and you walk across it. You can walk across fine, no problem. But you raise it 100 feet in the air, and now it's different. Still the same 2x6. You don't need any more or less balance to go across it. But what are you worried about now? Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. That's me going in the woods.
Great analogy.
So, I'll be looking behind every bush because I think there's going to be a Sasquatch there.
It'll probably be Bradley. Every bush you look behind, there will be Bradley. He'll be back there.
Well, we'll find that, and we will find any kind of forensic evidence that we can in terms of Bigfoot and in terms of this mystery to unravel it.
Yes, that's it. Blake, you got anything before we go?
I think we have a very high chance of getting evidence from audio to video and thermal. I can't see how we couldn't really get anything unless they're absolutely just not there.
They're there.
We'll get something, no doubt.
Yeah. It's the reason we're going there and not anywhere else.
Right.
Josh.
Just excited.
Yes, sir.
Anything before we go?
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
in a good way, I think.
I'm ready to do whatever it takes to get this done.
Good deal, Brad.
Wait, Josh, man, come on! Don't make me take over. What's it going to take, in your opinion, to get this done? Don't make me ask the questions. It's Kerry's job.
Hey, man. Hey! I did ask a question.
I'm getting ready to ask that question.
I asked a question.
Stay in the doghouse, Chad.
Do you have anything? Did I say Chad? Do you have anything? No, I said Josh. You got anything else before we go? So Chad and Josh gave us exactly what he wanted to say because that's who he is. Now you be who you are and tell us what you think, Chad.
I'm like,
am I supposed to hit in mute now?
Here's the whole darn thing, man. I know Josh personally. I've not known him for long, but I've seen his dedication. I know his ethic and everything he does. And I'm like excited to really have him with us. I couldn't even believe it was possible. It's sad that somebody had to drop out for him to be in, but this guy is the cream of the crop. He is. The Lost Cryptids would not be where they are right now without him. And bringing the character of him and him being a part of this whole Odyssey, I want to cry, man. I want to cry.
Yeah, Josh is awesome. He's hardcore, dude. He's hardcore.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out for sure. And
we will.
It's getting ready to be gut check time. That's for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. Be sure you go and subscribe to Lost Cryptids Conservatory. Like I said, they've got a really good show they do over there. These guys are out in the field all the time, and we appreciate them being on here and being a part of this expedition with us. We may do one more expedition show before we leave. I'm not sure. It's a possibility. Be sure you're here for the Researchers Report this Wednesday, 7:00 p.m. Central. Brad and I might do a show Sunday. It's possible. I've got to do 2 other shows, so I don't know just yet. So we'll see. You'll get a notification if we do go live Sunday on the late show. But thanks everybody for joining. The members, thank y'all so much. Again, that's just going to help Linda and I on the travel when we make the travel shows.
One quick favor, Kerry.
Appreciate you very much. Thank y'all for being here with us here tonight. Good night,
Kerry,
y'all.